Her
Joyce
voice.
is on another meeting on the phone.
Oh.
He had to go to the other room. Hi, David.
Hello.
Hi, David.
Just so you know, I do have a backup meeting in the wings that if I have to email that connection to you guys.
Oh, good. Yeah, after what happened last night.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go public, you know?
Yeah.
So David, is that you there?
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Huntley.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Kathy. Let's see, I gotta figure out what I'm doing here. Okay. So Huntley, is this how you started out last night?
Yes. Yeah, we started out very good. We never really got started with the meeting, though.
Okay. David,
Yes.
do we have a plan B?
Yeah, you check your emails. I do have another meeting off ready to go if we need to go to plan B. I would
Okay.
email that invite to everybody on this email.
Yes, I see it.
They've always been on our shore. They've always got a high ecosystem, but our ecosystem is changing right now. And we can't deny it. But our numbers is
Now, I don't know if that dog is bombing us or if that's
Which one?
the dog that's barking or whining.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh. He doesn't
I
like
gotta
your,
stop, bud. You know, I'm gonna send him upstairs, I think. Are you complaining, bud? Yeah, see, he's complaining. I don't want to play ball with him, you know?
Yep.
I'll be back. You need to go upstairs.
No, when it started last night in the corner, there was a little, it almost looked like Dennis the Menace, some type of, it almost looked like somebody was playing a video game.
Really?
Who's that person?
It's Barbara Campbell's husband. Hi.
Hi, Dick.
Hi.
Hi, Dick.
Good evening. Fellow meeting goers.
All right. Well, are we all here yet?
We're waiting for Scott. I don't see Scott.
I can only see 4 of you at a time because I'm trying to use my iPad for one thing and my phone for another. And
There's 7 of us on.
Yep.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
if I toggle, I can see everybody. Hey, Dick.
Hi.
But
Oh, goodness.
yeah, that's the only one that's missing is Scott.
All right. I haven't heard from him. So we'll give him the Sarah Kimball time. Give him 2 more minutes.
Right.
Hey, I didn't have to walk to get in here.
Hey, come on. We always give you at least 5. So we can do the same for Scott, right?
Oh, you're too kind.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, hello.
Before we start, if I could just take a few seconds here. There's a Fran and Bill, and for the minutes, if we could find out what your last name is, please.
It's Fran and Bill O'Shea, O-S-H-E-A.
Okay. Thank you. And I see a D. Pratt.
Yeah, Diane, just listening in.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
We're making sure we ask names because of last night, the Zoning Board of Adjustment got Zoom bombed. Andy, you participated in that or tried to?
Yeah, no, I was I was right in the midst of it. I'd heard about such a thing, but that was I've been in a lot of Zoom meetings, but that was the first one that I'd ever been in that was bombed. It was weird.
You were fortunate not to have the same level of visuals, so I guess the League of Women Voters had. So
Yeah, we had no visuals, thankfully. Yeah, so
that's good. That's good to hear.
We'll consider ourselves lucky for that.
That was a very rude bombing. It was very surprising and not very not very appealing. Just pornography all over the place, and
Ouch.
she's the N word, and it just
Wow.
was, yeah. I don't know what to say.
No, but we'll cross our fingers for tonight. And hope
That's right.
it's-
All right, well, let's get started.
Okay,
We'll work our way through and see where we get to, and Scott joins us, that's great. But let's go do the roll call, please. Right now, I believe if I'm seeing correctly,
Mhm.
I have Chris McAleer, I have David Campbell.
Mhm.
Let me see if I get here. I have Dick Bennett, Sarah Kimball. Keep on going. I've got Huntley. And we're getting there. Ah, there you are, Kathy.
Hi.
I found you.
Yep.
You have to keep on scrolling. If just on that basis, right now, if Scott does not come, Huntley, you're going to be a voting member this evening.
Okay.
All righty. I know you don't like that
No,
stress.
I always
and
like
strain,
being a backup.
but that's why you're here. We appreciate. All righty.
Okay.
David,
So the next thing is review of the minutes from last month, September 10th. Does everybody have a copy of the
Okay.
minutes?
do we have any discussion? Any comments? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion?
A motion to approve the minutes?
I hear a motion. A second?
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I hear no opposition. For those who have not attended our meetings before, unless there is an opposition, I will assume that we are all voting in the affirmative, and I will not do an individual roll call. And that will satisfy the requirements. So if anybody's got a no, please make sure we hear your no, and then we'll do a roll call. All righty, next, David.
Public comments on any matter not before the planning board this evening?
Yes,
Okay, this-
yes, I would like to make a comment.
I'm recognizing Kathy, please.
Yes, I was just wondering if Jerry had sent around to all the members the information that he would like to present to the selectman's office about Jackson, the name of, from Andrew Jackson to C.T. Jackson, who was an explorer of the mountains, and just because of Andrew Jackson, who were named, and that's who Mount Jackson is named after, C.T. Jackson, not Andrew Jackson. I was wondering if anybody had gotten that email sent to them, and if there was any comments on it.
Well, I'll for one, did receive the email, and I sent a quick note back to Jerry saying that if the selectmen don't pick up on it, that I'm happy to sign a petition for a warrant.
Thank you. I didn't know if anybody else in the planning board had got a chance to see any of the emails. That's what I was wondering. And
I read it.
I read it.
All right.
Bennett here. I'm for it. I think it would have to go to the town. It would have to be a voted warrant article. So
Yep.
I don't think we could just do it as selectmen. But I'd certainly support it. I think it has good intentions, and I don't see any reason not to.
I know Jerry.
I agree.
Thank you. I know that Jerry has a meeting. I mean, he's on the agenda for the 13th of the selection. So I was just getting a feel for how people felt about it. That's all. Okay.
Okay,
Any
I
other-
have a question that came from the police department. And that's whether people can come into a residence, you know, a building residence with a camper trailer or camper and take up, you know, residence. Is that legal? I mean, I quickly scanned our ordinances and I really would like help with that idea.
Dick, is this somebody who just brings in a camper onto a lot that already has a house on it, or is this coming just put up on a empty lot?
No, it's not an empty lot. It is a lot with a house on it, and the campers come in. So I don't know if we have any authority to say no, you can't, or you know what? You know, they're obviously using the bathroom facilities of the house. I think there's a number of issues, so I don't know. I didn't know where to go with it, but the police department would like an answer, or at least get us going with the dialogue.
So it's rotating people? It's not like a family member that's doing it? They're like having various campers?
I don't know the specifics, but I believe that it's either a friend or a family member that has come in and taken up. And it's more than just, hey, we're, you know, come through the mountains for foliage. Can we, you know, park in your driveway for a couple of days? It seems to be more than that. So I don't know. It doesn't seem correct to me, but I don't know what our authority is.
Well, I think we also need to consider that, listening to the news, that there are a lot of people who have lost their places of, I mean, they've been kicked out of their apartments or had to be evicted, and it might be a relative or a friend of somebody who has a house here, and they have their camper trailer and are staying in that until they can get things straightened out. If that's the case, I think we could be a little bit lenient.
Absolutely. I agree with you. But this is, okay, this is the one time, but I think they're looking for guidance in the ongoing, you know, beyond people reacting to the coronavirus or having to react to the coronavirus.
Yeah, I remember there being something in the zoning ordinance about trailers. I'm trying to find it, but haven't yet. I'll let you know.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to bring it up. I don't think we have to settle it right this minute, but it would be good.
Do we have anything on the regulations to say that somebody has a camper that they own that's on their property?
Well, that's what I asked. I thought that, well, if somebody had a camper or even a travel trailer and just parked it on their property, I mean, that's where they would store it. I mean, that doesn't seem to be any problem. I think the problem is if there's somebody actually living in it on a regular basis, probably using the house and the septic system. And so anyway, it's something to consider. As I said, I don't think we have to answer it this evening, but actually I'm interested in the other input too, because the idea that, you know, people that have been displaced because of foreclosures or, you know, they're just up in the air as where to live, you know, I think we'd be remiss to try to run them out. That doesn't seem particularly friendly. So anyway, it's just a thought and a consideration.
Is this particular house in a subdivision at all?
I don't know, I'd have to go back to the police and find out what the specifics are.
If it's in a subdivision, there might be something in some covenants or something in the deed.
Right, yeah, I mean, there are, I mean, some subdivisions, you can't have a clothesline. I mean, there's all kinds of regulations, but I don't know. So I'll find out a little more and just have people, you know, let's think about it. And I agree with Sarah that, you know, we certainly don't want to displace somebody that has been displaced. So you know, keep pushing them on. I think we can be way more lenient than that. So
Bill, I
anyway,
don't know if you can see Andy, but he has his hand up. Bill, Andy has his hand up.
Andy, recognizing Andy, please.
Thank you, and I'm just chiming in. I'm obviously not a resident, but just as a, I think this is something that's come up in Tamworth where I am. There's similar things where we're noticing, people are noticing that there are RVs in places more than there were typically. And so I think this is a question that's going to be coming up in a lot of towns. So I just wanted to chime in that Jackson's probably not alone, and that it would be interesting probably for the communities around here to, this is probably going to be a question that's going to come up, and it would be interesting to have discussions, because I think we're all going to be, it seems like we're all going to be facing the question of, you know, there are people who are displaced and they're coming up here, and how do we, you know, what do we do? And, you know, how do we accommodate, and how do we just make sure that everybody's safe and that the environment's safe, and just these questions. So I just wanted to say that Jackson's not alone, and I think we're going to be, it would be good for us to be having conversations among the communities about this. So.
I did find the section, it's section 11.
Yeah.
And I can read it for you. No trailer or manufactured home park shall be located or maintained within the town of Jackson, and which for purposes thereof shall be deemed to mean a parcel of land where 2 or more trailers or manufactured homes are parked. Nothing hereunder shall be construed to prohibit individual trailers or manufactured homes located on individual lots, so long as such lot otherwise meets the minimum lot size requirements and setbacks under the ordinance of the town of Jackson. So it would be like an accessory apartment, I would think.
Yep.
sounds good.
So if it's somebody who's setting up, you know, for permanent residence, you know, more than just a month or so, then it might make sense to check out if it's a big enough lot. Then according to this, our section 11 is okay.
All right. Well, as Andy said, I think it's going to be an ongoing discussion, because, you know, population pressure is never going to let up on us again.
Okay, that's not my dog.
Not my dog.
Indians are sneaking
Not
up
my
on-
dog.
I took a squeaky toy away.
There's another place, Sarah, in the rural residential district 4.3.1.1. There's another place regarding tenting and trailers. The uses permitted parks and conservation areas, with the exception of facilities or space primarily for tenting and trailers. And that's the only other place that there's any mention
Okay.
in the ordinance. So no one can set up an arrangement specifically for primarily for tenting and trailers, but it doesn't say anything about an individual situation.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
That's all I can find at this quick notice. But yeah, I agree that it's something we should probably make sure we understand and we're okay with where we're at.
Are you saying that's for,
I-
were you saying that's for a future meeting, Bill?
Yeah, I think so. And you know, particularly if someone were doing that kind of arrangement for a short-term rental, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, well, yeah, insult to injury kind of thing.
Right, and we move it every week, you know, we take
Right.
it off and come back, and then, you know, the parameters of it are ongoing. Okay, well, thank you for the consideration.
Okay. Is there any other public discussion for anything not on the agenda for this evening? I can't see if you're raising your hand. So,
Nope, I don't see anything, Bill.
okay, really good. Thank you. Let's move forward, David.
Next thing is the public hearing.
Okay. All right, we are into the public hearing session. And for that, you know, hear ye kind of thing. The folks who were originally introduced at the beginning of this meeting are the same folks who will be voting in the public hearing. I'm not sure we need to reintroduce everyone, even though that's what our agenda says we need to do. I guess we should follow form. I don't know. Chris McAleer, Dave Campbell, Sarah Kimball, Huntley Allen, Dick Bennett, Kathleen Dougherty, and Sarah. Did I get everybody?
Yep,
You got
yourself.
everybody.
Oh, and me, Bill Terry. I'm the chair. Okay, so that's us.
Mhm.
And let's see, and we'll all be voting. So
Yep.
Begin, David.
So the first one we have is the boundary line adjustment. The owners are, the proposed adjustment are Dean and Nancy Davis. It's located at 156 Dundee Road and 144 Dundee Road on the map, lot 50, R15, lot 2, and lot 2.1. You want me to
David,
bring it up?
David,
Yeah.
before we move on, right now we currently have in our order on the agenda the Grant property as third, and I believe that we're not going to be addressing that this evening. Andy, do you have any other involvement with any of the other applications?
No, thank you.
All right, so if we change the order just up a little bit, we can
Okay.
we can maybe allow you to go home.
That would be nice. Yeah, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, let's do that. And the reason I say that is originally we anticipated that this application would be moving forward potentially as a result of the Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting last night. That meeting was Zoom bombed and had to be called. So apparently they did not meet their requirements for the meeting. And so, Andy, you're going to request what? You're going to request a continuance?
Yes, we are requesting continuance. As you said, we were anticipating a decision one way or another from the ZBA, but we had a meeting last week that was continued to last night, and then last night didn't go as anybody planned. So,
Yeah, so we're continuing the continuing.
please, if we may continue to the I think you know, ostensibly to the next planning board meeting, and hopefully we will have a ZBA decision by then, if that pleases the board.
Okay, I think I believe we need to have a vote for a continuance. and to record that. So I guess the request has been made for continuance of the application for the grant property. Do I have a motion to accept the request?
I would make a motion to grant a continuance.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We have a unanimous vote. Andy, thank you for being here tonight, and you have a continuance. And hopefully we hear back one way or the other on what's going on with the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
That's great. Thank you all very much. I appreciate that. And we'll see you next meeting, and good luck with this one. So far,
Yes,
so
thank
good.
you. You're welcome to stay if you like, but
Thank you. Thank you. To see hopefully there's not going to be much excitement. So
okay,
Thank
we
you.
hope not.
have a good night,
Night.
everybody. Thank you.
All right, David, please
Okay.
proceed. Sorry.
Okay, no problem, excuse me. So, like I said, the first one is the boundary line adjustment for Dean and Nancy Davis, located at 156 Dundee and 144 Dundee Road, tax map R15 Lot 2 and Lot 2.1. I can pull that up if anybody needs a copy of that.
That would be good if you do, David.
No problem.
It's not even Halloween.
I'm usually the culprit on that, so I appreciate that.
So this is the information that they're requesting. I'm not sure what everyone needs to see. There's multiple documents.
Probably the plat.
The plat, okay.
That would be the thing to, yeah.
Okay, I will do that.
And who is presenting for this boundary line adjustment?
I am Lorelei Gerard. I'm the agent and surveyor for the Davises.
The chair recognizes you, please.
Okay. Would you like, okay. Good evening. My name is Lorelei Gerard. I work for Horizons Engineering out of Conway, New Hampshire. And I am the surveyor and agent for Dean and Nancy Davis.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I don't see the plat up yet, but I
Yeah,
can.
I'm pulling it up in a minute.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of documents here. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys can see this. This is kind of small.
Yeah, we're used to it being spread over the whole table.
I do have a copy behind me on a whiteboard, which I have a laser pointer. I don't know if that helps at all, but I'm willing to stand aside so you can see that. It's up to you.
Well, we're not going to ask you to stand aside, but we might ask you to maybe do that. It might make her, well.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
And by the way, you can pinch in and pinch out for a larger size. If you have an iPad or an iPhone that you're looking at.
So let me know when everybody's ready and I can begin to explain.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
So the purpose for the boundary line adjustment is to gain about 90 feet of frontage for what's going to be the new lot in the two-lot subdivision. Whereas the tax map R15 Lot 2, which is 144 Dundee Road, has an existing structure, was subdivided, I believe it was in 2006. And that lot needs to maintain the 2.18 acres. So in order to achieve some of the frontage off of tax map R15 Lot 2, we did what was a equal exchange in this boundary line adjustment. And I should back up for a second because Nancy and Dean Davis own both tax map and lot numbers, 144 Dundee Road and 156 Dundee Road. So what they asked me to achieve was to take 90 feet from parcel 2 and exchange it off of the larger parcel 2.1, which is back here on the back edge. It's 2 feet by 90 feet, which is 180 square feet. It's roughly 0.004 acres. So lot 2, after the boundary line adjustment, remains the same. It does not change in the acreage. And then what happens is we gain 90 feet of frontage for 2.1, where we can obtain enough frontage, the 200 feet of minimum frontage, to create another lot out of the 2.1. So the first application is just to do an equal exchange through a boundary line adjustment.
And that is not marked on this map, is that correct?
No, it is, but we didn't do it as a blow up. I don't know if my cursor shows up or not, or it's, let's see. So if you look at the southeast corner of lot 2, that section from the southeast corner going northwesterly about 90 feet, coming back in 2 feet and then returning back down becomes a part of 2.1. And then in the southwesterly corner of parcel 2, a section of 2.1, same equal measurements, 2 feet by 90 feet, are taken away from 2.1 and given to 2.2. Given to parcel 2. That's why the acreage does not change.
And what does that leave for frontage on the lot 2?
For lot 2, original frontage was 356 feet, 0.27, and remaining is 266 feet, 0.27.
I guess in looking at this plot beforehand, I was a little confused because it's labeled as up in the top there as boundary line adjustment, but what it is actually is for the subdivision. So it seems to me if we have 2 decisions to make, we really should have 2 different plats to look at.
The board wouldn't entertain doing a concurrent approval. I would be willing to put 2 approval boxes to show that the boundary line adjustment and then the subdivision. Or if the board prefers to have two plans, the area that we're adjusting is so small, the scale would have to be enormous in order to see, or in order to fit on a plan that would be recordable.
I don't quite see why that would be so, because to do the boundary line adjustment, you would only need to have that portion of the map that is affected. You would not have to show the whole of lot 2. Well, does it start off as lot 2.1 or 2.2? I can't read the fine print here.
Yes, there's the 2 lots.
What are they presently called?
144, tax map R15 144 is parcel 2. R15 2.1 is 156 Dundee Road. Those are the current tax map identifications.
Well, it's not.
I could also offer the board, if they prefer, to show those boundary line adjustment small areas, 2 feet by 90 feet, as blow-ups. But if the board wants to entertain 2 plans, then that's what we will present, or that's what we will agree to.
Yeah, just looking at it, it's difficult to see that we're approving the boundary line adjustment as presented or as represented on the plat. You know, and looking at, I appreciate that you're getting to the right places, but there's nothing on this that suggests the movement of the lines and what we're actually agreeing to do. In that respect, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with signing off on a plat that doesn't really show the action that we've approved.
Laura Lee, could you pull up this plat and outline where you're talking about? Maybe put some kind of a color line on it or something?
Or if you have you have it actually mapped out.
What do you mean by mapped out? The L table, I don't know if you can see the L6. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can mark this. Says, okay, I've been disabled by the host. Is that true? No.
Yep.
Let me see. I'm trying to find.
I can make you the host if that allow you to do things.
I'm trying to. Melissa.
You should be able to use your cursor.
Okay. Can everyone see my cursor right now?
No.
No.
Yeah.
You have to put your you have to share your screen, Laura. And
so multiple participants sharing this simultaneously. Is that what you want me to do?
No.
Probably.
Okay. Well, that's what I've just clicked on.
But we're still seeing David's screen.
Yeah, you're still seeing mine.
Okay, so.
Because if I can stop sharing mine, but see yours just disappears.
Yep, mine disappears. Okay, one more. Okay, whiteboard. Hang on, share.
There you go.
Yep, I'm trying to find where is the plan? PDF, is that it? Hang on.
Once I give it to you, I can't. Once you have control, I can't show you my screen at the same time.
Okay, I'm trying to get the plan. New share. Okay, where is the plan? Files. Nope. Okay, I'm on the whiteboard. All right. Share, nope. Melissa, could you come here for a minute? I need to share the plan that they have in here. So how do I share?
I did.
Okay, one second, please.
Okay. I did blow it up a little bit on mine.
Did he stop sharing it?
We have a new person on the screen. Jim?
Hello?
Okay,
They can't hear you now.
one moment, please. I have to pull the plan out of my files in order to give it to you. Shoot. Okay. No, it's not going to be in here. It's in these.
Yeah, who, can we identify the person who just joined us, please?
Yeah, who's Jim?
Sure, I'm Jim Kalutis. I am one of the trustees of the Black Bear Cabin Realty Trust. I'm a butter to Dean Davis's project. Did you guys already talk about that?
No, that's what we're talking about now.
There you go. Great.
Your timing's excellent.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill, it's Scott. Sorry I'm late.
Scott, welcome.
Had a bit of a technology meltdown.
There's a lot of that going on lately.
Yeah.
Scott, Scott Badger.
Let me just pull this one back up. See, it's much larger now. I don't know if that helps.
We don't have it.
We don't have it.
From a process perspective, we are in a public hearing. Scott Badger is a regular member of the planning board. He is now in attendance, and he is a voting member, and he will be replacing Huntley Allen.
I'm sorry, Hutland. I could leave if you want.
No, it's all right with me.
So Huntley, the pressure is off, man.
I'm glad he's there.
but you're still entitled to your voice, so please keep it.
I know I'm having a problem. Oh, well,
I'm going to ask. Is it David Campbell?
Yes.
Do you have the PDF that you could email to me so I can call it up?
Yes. I think I have your email.
Well, while we're waiting, I might add that from the experience of trying to trace back history of certain plots, certain locations in town, and trying to find it, that if you have a very clear plat that says what's happened and what was changed, and then the approval and so on, for each one of these major actions, then I think it would be much, much better for anybody who is researching what happened with a particular plot. So I would recommend that we have one plat for the boundary line adjustment, which clearly shows what's happening, and then another plat which shows the subdivision. And being dated the same day, then it would be very clear for somebody who's researching, what had happened to that particular plot.
Any other feelings about that? Anybody else have another comment? I'll pipe in then. If not, I agree with you, Sarah. It would, to me, I think be best if we have one plat that shows the lot line adjustment, the boundary line adjustments, and then have one where we're actually looking at the other activity. It'll give us two signature blocks. We do have an issue with signature blocks and acceptance that we've had in the past, where there's not adequate room on the plat and they're rejected. So just adding another signature block here might not pass muster for the application and acceptance, and then you end up having to get it done again anyways.
And the Registry of Deeds may require that too. I don't know.
Yeah. So I appreciate their two activities and that we can maybe for discussion purposes this evening, work with what we have. But I think on a conditional basis, we would request that you create a plat that's going to represent the boundary line adjustment separately.
Okay, so I do have the plan now, but you don't want me to show you? You still want to
Yeah, I
plan?
think you can show us, but I think what
Okay.
we're saying is that we can proceed without having a separate plat, but before we actually sign a plat and sign off, we can, if the rest of the planning board agrees, we can move forward and do a vote this evening on a conditional basis so that we can get the vote in, but that will require that you actually present two different plats for signature and sign off.
Okay. So can I show you for the boundary line adjustment, but I'm understanding you want two plats, but do you want me to
Yep.
explain it or do you want to have, I can't go to the subdivision without having a review of the boundary line adjustment.
Exactly, so please, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, so, so on the road frontage where you see the L numbers 5, 6, and 7, those represent on L5 is 90, L6 is 2, and L7 is 90. That, I call it a tongue, will be removed from parcel 2 and added to 2.1. And in exchange for an equal exchange, the same dimensions on L2, L3, L4. Okay, I'm circling the first one on the roadway first. So that portion right there is going to be added to current tax map R15 lot 2.1, giving an additional 90 feet, which is L7, to 2.1. And then 2.1 is going to exchange the equal amount on L3, L2, 3, and 4, same dimensions, 90 by 2 by 90. And that portion comes off of parcel 2 and gets added on to, I'm sorry, that comes off of parcel 2.1 and gets added to parcel 2. So parcel 2 does not change in acreage. It's just swapping with 2.1, a 90-foot by 2-foot strip on Dundee Road, and 2.1 is giving the same size strip to parcel 2.
Can you draw with your pencil there approximately where that line would be? Because we just have these numbers and don't know what they represent.
Okay, so this is parcel 2. I'm just going to start on the road up where it says 51.56.
Yep.
So from here, you're going to go down. You're going to then jut into parcel 2 by 2 feet. Come along parcel 2. Oh, this is so hard. Sorry. So you're going to get to L6 on the road, come into parcel 2 by 2 feet, then go 90 feet along parcel 2, but not on the road, to the rebar said found, and then you're going to go southwesterly 226 feet to a rebar found. And then you're going to go along L4, which is 90 feet. This doesn't, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to blow it up. It needs to be blown up. Even more. I'm blowing it up a little bit more so that it's more visible because okay, so here we go again. Starting on the road, Dundee Road, where it says 51.06, you come to a point on Dundee Road, which will be the lower section by L6. Can't get that far. So it comes down here. Now we're gonna go back 2 feet into lot 2. Then we're gonna come down, oh my gosh, 90 feet, which is L5. And then we're gonna go southwesterly 226 feet to a rebar. And then we're going to continue 2 feet. Do with mouse. I apologize for this. I'm trying to blow it up on the screen. So go in 2 feet on L6, then come down L5, 90 feet. To what now is, there's a rebar set, then come southwesterly along parcel 2. Let's see what that number is. To L, and then you're going to come to a rebar found, and then you're going to go L1 2 feet. And then you're going to go northwesterly along what says new line L2, 90 feet to L3. Then you're going to go L3 into the parcel 2, 2 feet. And
So it's essentially your double line.
It's the new part.
correct. So what we're doing is we're taking a 2-foot strip 90 feet off the front of lot 2 to give to 2.1, and from 2.1 we're giving parcel 2 the same size strip on the back side and the southwesterly corner of parcel 2.
Is this to provide frontage on Dundee?
This is to give frontage to 2.1 in order to create the new lot 2.2 in the 2-lot subdivision.
Yeah. I can see why you're doing it. It's just a shame that we have to go through such an awkward
Right.
contortion to, to subdivide a property that has plenty of land to subdivide.
Yeah.
I just like see this as this is going to be confusing, to people looking at the map, no matter what, because you have basically what looks like a bold line, and I understand it's only 2 feet, so you can't really show that land within the 2 property lines, so it looks like a single bold line, which is just, I can't imagine what someone's going to think is they're looking at when they look at this 20 years from now.
Yeah, is it absolutely necessary that you have it just 2 feet? Because a lot of times you've had boundary line adjustments that actually involve a little bit more. Considering that the land that you're would be exchanging is undeveloped, and I would think that something like a triangle or just a larger piece that you would take off the front and maybe distribute that along the whole back line so that it would come out clearly on the plat. Might be another way of doing it that would be a lot cleaner.
Correct. This dimension, 2 feet by 90 feet, was the envision of the owners of the property, which are both Nancy and Dean Davis. It expanding it into a larger aerial swap, you're not going to gain anything because we have some steep slopes, and those don't count for lot density calcs. This 2 by 90 is an area that does not have any lot density calc issues with it, since it's so small. Making a triangle, I mean, there's many ways you can configure it. I can show these areas blown up, or like you said, you want a individual plan, so I make it at a scale that will emphasize these 2 areas, so they will be well defined. This map is, hang on a second, sorry. So this plat before you is a scale of 1 equals 60. I could do a plan to just, emphasize the boundary line adjustment at 1 inch equals 10 feet, and those 2 by 90 will show up much larger. But I may need to ask a waiver to show the entire 2.1, as I do in a blow up on the left side of the plan that you currently have before you.
Would it be difficult just to take it, I see your line coming down by L6 there, and then just go straight uphill? In other words, perpendicular to the topo lines there, just a little triangle, boom, that would then be clear on the map, on the plat, on the plat, on the normal scale, and then take that amount, same amount of square feet, and add it along the back line, and if that becomes too narrow, then just do it in on a portion of the back line, or do another triangle, just take it, move it over.
So the configuration of 2 feet by 90 feet is what you're saying you're not pleased with? Is that, I'm not sure if that's.
Well, as I said before, it's just anyone looking at this in the future is going to have a very hard time understanding what's going on, and we're creating a very awkward piece of land. And I understand that it's our frontage requirements that are driving this, but I think what Sarah's suggesting would, I can't see that it really makes much material difference to either of the 2 lots, but it certainly is going to be a lot more clear to anyone looking at it in the future, and and might lead to future subdivisions more so than that weird strip. I don't know. I just it's not a, it's obviously something being done simply to acquire enough frontage to subdivide, and being done in a way that's just awkward and going to be confusing in the future. I mean, a lot of the plats we look at are confusing enough as is, but something like this will be confusing, I think.
So Scott, just for my perspective, then, if what you and Sarah are both talking about is possibly not having 2 parallel lines, but rather something that's like 2 feet at one end and 5 at the other, and do the same thing on the back end?
Well, if I understand what Sarah was suggesting, you draw a triangle starting at L6, maybe intersecting the corner of the dotted lines right under the word rebar, and continuing to the, that sort of south border, And then you would just create a similar triangle, from L3, sort of perpendicular to the plat going down and then back up to that
Let's go the
southern
other way.
line. Yeah, you'd mirror the two triangles. I mean, you could stick a triangle anywhere else on that plat, or even something that's, it doesn't have to be the same shape even, as long as, if you're really,
It's the same square feet, yeah.
yeah, if you're trying to make it an equal swap, it can be any shape. It could be a curve. Yes, but
something similar to what you're drawing now. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this would look more clear to anyone in the future. It just seems like I sympathize with the effort to work within our frontage requirements, but
Why don't we change it from a frontal requirement then?
well, we can't in this instance.
And I think the second lines are being drawn are on the wrong side of the line. What you're doing is cutting two pieces out of parcel 2.
Right.
You gotta exchange it. You gotta give it to 2.1 instead of taking it away twice from 2.
Right.
Right.
2.
On the back side, it needs to be to the left instead of to the right.
And as I said, it doesn't need to be another triangle. It could be a rectangle or
Whatever.
anything.
Be an equal distance all the way across the back.
Right.
I apologize. I have an assistant right now helping with my technology deficiency. She's not a surveyor. So, no, I understand what you say. I need to, since my clients are not Zooming tonight and I don't have access to them and their opinion, I believe I'm going to have to ask for continuance because I need to discuss this matter with them further.
And I don't believe that we can require that you do it differently, but if Nancy and Dean are open to it at all, I think it just would be a smoother.
Clear. And it doesn't have to be an equal exchange.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an equal exchange either. That's up to the two property owners, but.
Right, which are the same people.
Yeah.
The equal exchange is because parcel 2 cannot be any less than 2.18 based on the soils and slopes. So it's at its minimum allowable per town and per the state.
Okay.
So you could give it more.
True, but if you're familiar with the area, that's kind of steep up in that section. So I'm not sure how much they're going to gain, but yes, of course, 2.1 has more than enough area to give to the new parcel 2.
Look, to me that, and I would love to point my finger on the plat, which we would do if we were all together, but you've got the same distance between topo lines in the back corner, the northwest corner. You could just do another triangle or rectangle or something, just to make an exchange. And I think as far as plats are concerned, it is a lot easier if they are of a regular dimension. This extra 2 feet, I think, is very awkward.
Okay. So like I said, I need to discuss, so if I can radiate what you are saying, you want an individual plan for the boundary line adjustment, and you would like the configuration of this equal exchange, or at least no less than 2.18 acres for parcel 2 to be a different figure so that it's clearer for everyone in the future to understand the adjustment.
Yeah, it needs to be observable. And really, when you look at this, it looks like a bold line.
Well, I can do that with the plan at a different scale. I can make it so that it's enlarged so that you could see the 2 feet and the 90 feet. I wouldn't have to use the L numbers or L annotation. But I'm trying to understand that, is the board saying they wouldn't entertain an area that's 2 feet by 90 feet as an exchange?
It wouldn't show up on the subdivision plat, and you would have constant interpretations. When you look at this plat at its regular size, the bold line, the people would say, hey, wait a minute. You know, you have a lot, your lot 2.2 doesn't have enough frontage, even though you've added that little 2 feet. I think it'd be much clearer if you make it the size of that can be seen on the plat. I just know from the various research that I've done with plats that confusion is not appreciated.
Okay, so can I
And
ask?
I came into this in a little bit in the middle, but you mentioned 2 plats, one for the subdivision, one for the lot line adjustment. It's really 2 separate applications, isn't it? Because we would have to do the lot line adjustment first and approve it before we could even accept the subdivision application.
Correct. The subdivision is dependent upon the approval of the boundary line adjustment.
There are 2 applications.
And I did file 2 applications and I paid the fees.
Oh, okay. I just heard 2 plats. I thought we were
Right.
trying to cram into one, and
What I was
one would be a
presenting,
public and the other not.
what I was presenting to the board was a concurrent plan that represents the boundary line adjustment and
Okay.
the 2-lot subdivision, because without the boundary line adjustment, the subdivision cannot
Yep.
move forward.
Okay.
But like I said, I need to discuss what the board is asking. I understand the 2 plans that's easily remedied. But whether they are adamant about just 2 feet by 90 feet, I need to ask how they want me to present this. But I can't at this point because they're not Zooming, nor are they in my presence.
Yep, no, I hear you. Okay, so is that how, is Scott, Sarah, help me out a little bit here. I know we're asking for that. We obviously are saying that this plat right now as is not acceptable to us because it's not distinguishable. So either which way, we have a process that's going to say that we're not comfortable with where we're at right now. And if that's the case, a continuance certainly will allow us to, provide for you to provide a different, either a different picture with a different configuration or a better representation of what it is you propose.
Okay.
And I think after following that, then we can review the subdivision application. Is that kind of where we're at right now, guys, or anybody have a different view?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. As far as continuing, this is a public meeting for
Yes.
these. So do we need to renotice it and all that?
Not if there's a continuance.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think that sounds reasonable.
All right, so I think we need to have a vote on the continuance. Do I hear a motion to continue this application?
I move that we continue the application.
For the borderline
application, and ask that the owners of the properties consider a slightly different lot line configuration to make the plats more readable and a little less awkward land transference.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and acceptance. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, it carries. I need because we have two parts of the application. There's an application also for a subdivision that we will not hear this evening because of this continuance. Do I have a motion to continue the subdivision approval?
I move that we continue the subdivision approval, based on a rehearing of the lot line adjustment.
Okay, I have a motion to continue the application for the subdivision. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion carries. We're not doing well tonight on this.
May I ask a
Laurel,
question?
we'll have to switch host back to David.
Sorry, what?
David, you need to get be host again.
Yep.
Okay. We thank you for your application. I'm sorry that we're not being very amenable this evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I have a question. So, since this is my first application to Jackson, I need to know when do I need to give you the revised plan for the boundary line adjustment? What's the filing deadline for the continuance?
Because we don't have the requirement for notice on a continuance, it should be a lesser amount of time, but I would appreciate 14 days.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
David.
Yes. Well, that would, since we did the number 3 already, that ends the public hearing section.
All right. I hereby declare this public hearing closed. We can get on with our regular meeting.
Next thing on the agenda is the short-term rental applications. Everyone should have been sent those. Again, I can pull them up if you wish.
Okay. Do we
In
need
the
to go
agenda is a
through?
list of them that was given to us, and I think all the applications were sent to everybody, but I will pull up any one that if you wish.
All right. Let me ask it this way. Do we need to go through each one individually, or has everyone reviewed, or is there any particular one that somebody would like to have us pull up? I'm willing to go through any which process everyone's good with.
In the past, Julie has notified us when there's been any issue with the application, that correct?
Yes, and members are obviously welcome to add their own 2 cents if they have them.
Right. I just, given that there's no issues mentioned, I just want to make sure that was because Julie didn't see any issues, not that she simply didn't happen to mention issues that she saw. In other words, can we count on Julie to let us know if there are issues if she sees them?
I think so.
I'm not aware that that she had any issues. Dick, can you comment?
Well, only that I talked with Julie Hoyt, And she was wondering if there is any other process than going through the planning board. Are we stuck with the planning board review because of our original avenue of going into short-term rental permitting? Or can it go over, I mean, if I was to pick my best scenario, I would want a person in the town office, a new person, who did nothing but review short-term rental permit applications. So I don't know if that can happen. We'd have to, you know, it's a whole process that we'd go through, but are we stuck with the planning board review process, or can we alter that?
Dick, I can answer that question. The conditional use permit requires that the select board provide the application for review and that we comment on it and send it back to you for, we have to accept the application with comment and provide it back to you for approval. We don't have approval authority, but it's required as part of the RSA for a conditional use permit that you have a planning board in the process and that they review it.
That kind of gets to my question about Julie, you know, whether it's Julie or somebody else. I think that it would benefit us to have someone in the town office review the applications, make note of any, you know, anything missing or anything that doesn't seem right, so that when we get an application, it's relative, we can, you know, do them as a group instead of individually, because we know that they've been inspected and reviewed before they get to us.
And there's a time element that these applications now are coming in, and with the process, it can go on for, you know, 30, 40 days of review. So I was just trying to see if there was a way to streamline this process, but if you say it has to come from the selectmen through the planning board and then back to the selectmen, I, you know, absolutely accept that. I mean, that's the process we have to use. So anyway, it was just an idea of how to streamline it, but also somebody has to do a little more research on, you know, one thing was provide an actual copy of your meals and rooms tax number. So you can't just make up a number and say, you know, oh, sure, I got a number, 802-491. So anyway, it was just, it has come up, and I would like, it's becoming quite a bit of work for the office, but that's what the office does, is do the paperwork. And it may take another person to sort this thing out, to do the, you know, it's a time-consuming process to do the research of also, you know, the septic, and the building inspector has done some. He can't do them all. He does the ones that, you know, come up in front of him. But anyway, it's a process that's in need of some tweaking.
And once we get through, I mean, there's, you know, there are about 100 that were in place when we put, you know, all this together. And once we get through that group that we're already operating, you know, the number of new ones beyond that is going to be very small, because we don't have that many properties that are changing hands or changing use. And what we've done is going to limit the number of applications substantially within the residential district, you know, new ones. And so it's really just going to be mostly new applications in the commercial district, which there just aren't going to be many instances of. So once we get through the first wave, I think that the workload will drop off significantly.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dick, exactly what you're talking about. We had hoped that the state legislature was going to pass a short-term rental bill that would have reduced this activity. The requirement for the conditional use permit is we had two opportunities for how we could do this, and both of them were convoluted and time-consuming. Either which way, the Board of Selectmen ends up getting hit in the process. And the proposed bill that we had on the table when we were doing this would have shortcut this whole process and would have allowed for the applications to go to the town without this rigmarole that we are doing right now. But it's what we have, and it's what's available to us right at the moment.
Okay.
We have, on the application, they have essentially two things, well, that they have to say. One is the rooms and meals tax, and we get evidence of that with it. They give us a copy of their receipt with the number on it. But the other thing that we want to be able to have a handle on is the number of beds that they have, number of people that they're advertising for, and does that correlate with the systems that they have in place. And there was an email, and I read it, I don't remember, I can't pull it up right at the moment, but it was someone suggesting that in addition to their application, that they also give us what their advertisement is. In other words, like a screenshot of if they're advertising with Airbnb or VRBO, that we see that. Because, well, what I've done both last time and this time was to spend a little time just going on Airbnb and VRBO and to see if I can find these the particular the ones that are on our list. Last time I was able to get most of them, took a little while. This time I was really only able to find 3, and one of them is advertising that it is a 4-bedroom, sleeps 8, and Julie shows us that they have a 3-bedroom septic. Now, if they could show us what they're advertising, it would be very easy for us to make sure that they weren't trying to get more people than their septic system could hold to accommodate. And
that would be a great addition to the application.
Have it part of the application so we could see what they were advertising. Last time I mentioned 2 of them that seemed to be advertising more than what their systems were able to take. And one of them had been changed before our meeting, but the other one, very interestingly, the owners were kind of on and off the meeting and then back on the meeting again. And when I checked right after the meeting, their advertisement had changed.
Yes.
So I think by just having them show us what their advertisement is, would make it so that would they know that they need to have it correlated, not have 2 or 3 extra bedrooms. That make our job a lot.
Den into a bedroom, and the sewing room into a bedroom, and the loft
and extra
area.
bunk rooms in the attic and so on.
Yeah.
But the only concern I have with that is that's a moment in time. Because, who's going to check it tomorrow and who's going to check it next week? those two people that changed it, it could go back to, you go back out there now and it could be back to the same one. So we're just creating a loop here.
Yeah, but I think what we rely on, once we get going, you really rely on, someone complains that there are 10 cars in the driveway, then we take a look at it and say, well, wait a minute, it only has 3 bedrooms by septic design, but they're advertising, 4 bedrooms and sleeps 15 or,
Right,
whatever.
but that's based on a complaint.
Right, but I think that's how this sort of thing works. We don't have a police force that's going to go out and
Right.
regularly.
I don't think we want to spend the $25,000 a year to have that. If we want to create a police state, I'm not in for that.
No, and I'm not either. So a complaint-based system is just how these things tend to go.
Doesn't the application imply that if somebody is lying on the application and that you're going to lose your right? I mean,
Yes.
I think we're really, maybe we need to put that in bold letters, but I think we have to rely on people being honest. And I don't think we have the time to check everything out. But if we do find that they lied on it, they're gonzo. And I that should be very explicit. And I thought it was.
Can we use that terminology? You're gonzo if you.
Something like that.
Can we use that terminology? You're gonzo?
Well, Scott, I'll have you know that the Board of Realtors approached me to be on their short-term rental committee. And I tried to volunteer you, but they wouldn't take you because you don't have a real estate license.
Thank God.
I tried.
Hey, come on, he's a Badger. What do you want,
Well, that's what I figured. They're born with real estate licenses in their hands.
It's in his blood.
Yeah.
No, really it isn't. It took a second generation before it reemerged.
Hey, it was Bruce Zell that, by the way, who sent the note in, and he's one of our applicants this evening. The item on whether or not we require the advertisement, I don't know that that requires an ordinance change. That would be a simple change on the application to say that you must include a copy of your advertisement.
Most recent.
Well, that's
I think that would be
I've got
housekeeping.
I've
I
got
don't
his
think we'd
comments
have to
right
do
here. And that's exactly what he says, is that a fact sheet of actual rental listing with either Airbnb, Verbo, or local rental agencies. That's a pretty decent suggestion. I mean, it's easy to see if they match.
And that would be an easy add to the application.
Right.
Yes.
No ordinance change. And that could be done, Dick, by somebody just revising the application.
Yes. Housekeeping.
It is housekeeping, and that's something Peter might have to give you a blessing,
No.
whatever. The legal blessing, whatever it is, but that would seem to be an easy one.
It's in the ordinance, and so.
Yes.
So it's
That's
just
what
a
I'm saying,
matter of
housekeeping.
housekeeping.
Yeah, we're just stating it more clearly on the application.
So if you want it, just ask for it.
I want it.
Good.
You have authority. You control the application.
Hey, Dick, where's your hat? Where's your hat?
I have it right
Hold on, we
next.
have to approve these first.
Ready to go.
Dick. Don't put the hat on yet.
Okay.
No.
But I
All
have
right.
it here.
So if I understand correctly, no one wishes to bring up any individual comments on any one of the applications?
Well, just one of the 3 that I found is, and that's number 10, as an advertisement. I think it was VRBO, and they are advertising as a 4-bedroom, and they show pictures of the 4 bedrooms, and they list them with the number of beds that they have in them. But according to Julie, they have only a 3-bedroom septic system.
And they're advertising for how many guests?
8.
Which is that's within our ordinance.
Right.
It's not if they only got 3 bedrooms. And they're
Remember,
advertising for.
No, it's people.
that's not what our ordinance says. Our
Yes.
ordinance says number of bedrooms that are authorized times 2 plus 2.
Right.
3 bedrooms times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8.
8.
Let's do arithmetic, guys.
All right.
And if you look at their, the little diagram which shows the beds and you count up the number of people that could be in it, you would have either some of the bunk beds not being used, or you would have single people in the king size bed.
Yep.
Anyway.
And we had a similar situation last time. One of the applications had 16 beds total, and I think there were only 4 bedrooms. They were advertising for 10. And that was the meeting the ordinance. I think we need to be a little bit more clear about the advertisement process to say, and that's a change in the ordinance, to say not only do they advertise the number of bedrooms, but they can't advertise more than the number of bedrooms. And Chris, maybe you can help us out on this. When you do your application, your realty listings, you guys aren't allowed to list more bedrooms than they actually legally have, right?
You're muted. Chris.
We can't hear you, Chris.
Come back to us.
Well, I go to a lot of houses that are listed as 2 or 3 bedrooms, and there's a ton more beds. Just about every single house that I've gone into in this area, it's they're not listing that many, but when they show it, you can see that they've got a den that is a bedroom that they call a den. So
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah, but for your listing, there must be some legal limitation on the listing for the number of bedrooms.
No, not that I know of.
I thought
It's just that if you're going to do a listing, you're supposed to list the number of bedrooms that are equated to your septic system. I mean, there's no legal thing on that, but that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm saying that they might list 3 bedrooms, but you go in the house and there's 4 bedrooms because the den is a bedroom. Yeah, but there's no legal blah, blah, blah that I know of.
Okay, maybe we can double check on that, because I think there might be some requirement on that that is imposed by the state, so that you don't overrepresent. I don't know New Hampshire law well enough. In Connecticut, it was a legal requirement. You could not post on a realtor's site any more than what the septic allowed, and it was part of the ordinance, the state law.
They don't list more than they can allow, but when they go in there, you can see that they're have more than they're listing.
Yeah, no, right. I appreciate that. So we need to see some way that we can tap into that, so that.
Huntley.
Yeah, a few years ago, I thought there was an issue with real estate agents not being able to list more bedrooms than what the septic would allow. And yes, a 3-bedroom, you can sleep 2 per room plus 2, which would make 8 people. But I think technically you can't advertise 4 bedrooms, because then you've got a 4-bedroom house with a 3-bedroom septic.
What?
You can advertise sleeps 8, but you can't advertise 4 bedrooms.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is there some legal basis that we can tap into and not have to create some new Jackson rule?
I'll find that out. That won't be difficult for me to find out. But again, the point is that they're doing it, listing it correctly, but presenting it differently when somebody walks in the house. That's
and I don't know how you can police anything to that's my point. I don't think you can police that, but what we can do is we can say, look, you shouldn't list more bedrooms than your septic allows.
Mm-hmm.
And let's figure out some way to do that. If we need to change the ordinance to do that, I think that's one of the things we can change and present as a warrant article.
Meantime, I move that we accept the applications presented to us tonight.
I'll second that.
I have a motion to approve all the applications for this evening and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hi, Captain.
Okay, I didn't hear all in sequence, so are there any opposed? No opposition, they are approved. Any, we had on our agenda.
The last thing on the agenda was the capital improvement updates. We were to kind of think of some ideas, come back to this meeting and share any of the ideas that we may have had.
Dick, Kathy?
Oh, I thought of a lot of things, but I really don't think that with all that's going on right now with the COVID-19 and uncertainty about trade, uncertainty about the economy, I really don't think now is the time to present to the town a wish list. As far as everything else goes, the fire department and the highway department all, and the schools all talk to the selectmen about what's needed, what's coming up. So rather than making stuff up, it'd be really, we've already talked about solar panels. We've already discussed the Valley Crossroads Bridge, things that need to be taken care of and done. And like I said, I think it's all going on in the world. And everybody was screaming about their taxes last year. We don't need to bring something like this up to the town. In my opinion.
Dick?
No, I'm happy with the facts and figures that were put down, and I think that we can go right back to our original form for the preamble to it. I don't think we have to do more than that at this time.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, that's not to say that we won't have any further discussion, but for this evening, I think the hat's on.
Hat's on.
And I'm looking for one of those motions to.
I'll make the motion that we adjourn this meeting.
All right, you guys are 5 minutes out of whack here, so I apologize for this evening. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I
it.
have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I just want to say it was a good thing we didn't get Zoom bombed, huh?
Yeah.
It's a good thing, yes. Now, we're not important enough.
That must be.
And I also would like to say something. Chris, good luck.
Thank you.
Chris, good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Maybe you could do something down there, huh?
Maybe.
I hope so.
All right. Adios.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night. Thanks,
you.
everybody who was.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.